It's been a close call for the South African team stationed in Syria. Dozens of armed soldiers burst into the Gift of the Givers hospital yesterday. Doctors were forced to interrupt the surgeries mid-procedure to take cover from the gunfire. Although no casualties have been reported, dozens of South Africans are pulling out the mission this weekend. eNCA reporter Yusuf Omar has more. He joins us now from Syria. Yusuf, the fighting has intensified. Just give us an idea of what kind of situation you're dealing with right now.
Absolutely. Well, for the last few days, we've been using this rooftop at the hospital as the eNews sort of studio. It offers the best satellite coverage. But we've recently been informed by security that we can't be here anymore. Just moments ago, we saw what appeared to be a mortar attack. It flew from quite a distance away and hit the neighboring mountains. It's not the first time we've had such an incident. On the first day that the medical team arrived, there was a missile that hit the mountains just behind me. And then, of course, there was the drama yesterday. It was a celebration of sorts that got a little bit out of hand. Shots were fired into the air. Obviously, doctors were afraid. We had surgeons that were in the middle of surgery. They had to duck and dive around, and they basically had to stitch their patient up and get out of that room as quickly as possible. I'm joined here by Dr. Suleiman, the founder of Gift of the Givers. Doc, we've had this series of sort of threats. When will you pull the plug on this operation?
Not yet. The people need us here. We're monitoring the front lines. We're watching what's going on. We're getting information all the time. Water bombs are falling every day. Last night there were several. This morning there were several. The whole week that we've been here, probably more than 60 or 70 have fallen, if not more than that. Sometimes we're so busy, we don't even pay any attention. But at this moment of time, what my sources, we will still stay in. In fact, there's another team coming in the next half an hour to serve in the hospital.
Thank you. As Dr. Suleiman said from Gift of the Givers, there is another team that are on their way here. 7 more South Africans are arriving, as 19 are now leaving via Turkey. They'll be taking the same route that we took to get in. It's definitely not the most kosher of routes. Their passports won't be stamped. But in time of war zone, it's actually the only way to get in here. As per his calculation, he believes it's still safe. And until such further time, he will stay.
Yusuf, you mentioned that security officials said that you cannot be in that area anymore. Are there any plans to have you evacuated out of the area?
The Gift of the Givers say that in the event that things do escalate any further, there are evacuation processes in place. Basically, we're not too far away from the border with Turkey. We can be there in an hour if need be, and they will act accordingly. But at the moment, it's sort of a subtle level of fear. We know bombs are falling some 4 or 5 kilometers away, so we're definitely not on the front line, so to speak. But we are seeing the casualties of the front line coming through on a daily basis. They come in waves. I mean, yesterday was Jummah, Friday prayers, so it was a quiet day. But today, battles have absolutely resumed. I just joined the Free Syrian Army. I was with one of their generals in their safe house. We weren't allowed to film some of it. They had a lot of their weapons. And I said, "Are the South Africans safe? I mean, should we even be here?" And he said, in Arabic, he said, "Janub Afrik ahlan wa sahlan." The South Africans are most welcome here. They really want to do everything in their power to look after us. They believe that the South Africans are bringing a lot of support in here. They haven't seen big foreign interventions in quite a while, especially not this sort of scale. Obviously, as I said, we are having a large cohort that are leaving today, though.
Now, Yusuf, speaking of those casualties, are the medical personnel treating everyone, rebels included, or is there sort of a system in place to determine who gets treated?
Basically, they say they are completely impartial to politics. They will treat anyone. They'll treat the government's, Bashar al-Assad's government troops. They'll treat rebels. They completely have no, they don't turn anybody away from this hospital. They do turn guns away from the front door, but that's about it. And we do see a lot of rebels coming in. I haven't seen any government forces, to be honest, and that might be because this area, Idlib, has been liberated since November of 2012, so there isn't much of the other side. And that offers a problem when reporting as well. We're really being fed with one side of the story. We're meeting a lot of the Free Syrian Army, but it's quite difficult to get through to the government forces at the moment.
All right, thank you very much. That's where we'll leave it with eNCA reporter Yusuf Omar.
News that moves. eNCA.com.